This is an introduction to BitTensor. We're going to use a simple analogy to explain the participants in the network. In a BitTensor school, we have students and teachers. Teachers give their students work, students turn in their answers, and then teachers come together to grade the students' work. Teachers rank order their students from best to worst. Students are then paid a cryptocurrency called Tau for their work based on their grades. In BitTensor, these students are called miners. They do the work. Teachers are called validators. They check the work. The principal is called a subnet owner. They control the work. The school is called a subnet. It is the type of work. With this analogy, let's explore some real-world examples. In the storage school, students are given the work of storing data. Teachers give students files to store and then later check that the data has been stored correctly. When a teacher confirms that a student is great at consistently storing data, they'll give that student higher grades. When a teacher finds that a student has lost data, they'll lower that student's grades. Therefore, the best students at storage will get the most rewards, and the teachers will rely on them more. What about bandwidth, cheaters, amount of storage? The principal is the owner of the school. In BitTensor, they paid to own the school. So they want the highest quality of work. When needed, they will change the way students are graded to include these sorts of concerns like bandwidth, cheaters, amount of storage, etc. Let's look at a different school. In the Bitcoin price prediction school, students are given the work of predicting the price of Bitcoin. Teachers ask students for their predictions and then evaluate the students on their accuracy. When a teacher confirms that a student is great at predicting the price, they'll give that student higher grades. When they find that they are poor at predicting the price, they'll give that student lower grades. Therefore, the best students at predicting the Bitcoin price will get the most rewards, and their teachers will rely on them more. The principal's job is pretty simple in this case. They simply have their teachers check the price of Bitcoin against the students' past predictions. Hence, in our example, they don't need to change the way their school works very much. Contrast this with the storage school from earlier that had to account for cheaters and bandwidth, etc. There are many schools. Storage, Bitcoin price prediction, scraping, advertising, many AI schools. The last participant in our network is called the school board. The school board has an incentive to make sure the most valuable schools are rewarding their students the most. They vote for the schools that they feel are the most valuable. The schools with the most votes end up with more rewards to give to their students. School board members in BitTensor are called stakers. They judge the value of the work. In summary, students compete to get higher grades, principals compete to get higher rewards for their schools, and each participant in the network is paid for their work. School board members are paid in staking rewards for judging the value of work. Principals are paid for controlling the work. Teachers are paid for checking the work. Students are paid for doing the work. BitTensor harnesses market incentives to produce maximum possible value. Thank you.